Jerry, did you hear the boos every time you got the ball?
I heard it.
What, I mean,
That was a lot of boos, huh?
It sounded like it.
What that means? There was a lot of catches too. It was high emotion, but you all, like I said before, you all wanna beat the team that you used to play for, but came up short. Like I said, you gotta find a way to finish, find a way to win.
It seemed to kind of like here.
I loved it. They only boo you when they know there's something great in you.
That was Jerry Jeudy, who, listen, the Broncos get the win, 41-32, but the fantasy story of the night, Matthew, was Jerry Jeudy's return.
Unbelievable. He was amazing. I will say I'm a little annoyed by the narrative of, Jerry Jeudy showed them. I'm like, all the Broncos did was draft him high and then wait for production for year after year after year after year.
That's true.
In a situation where it's like, and I know people will say, well, he didn't have a great quarterback. True, but Courtland Sutton produced year after year after year with poor quarterback play, and Jerry Jeudy just never did. And so it's great to see him succeed with a new quarterback, a new system, whatever. The Browns have found a way to unlock Jerry Jeudy in a way the Broncos never did. But this whole they never believed in me. Jerry Jeudy got as many chances as possible. You know what I mean?
To be a star, right?
I mean,
you look at the road of him and CeeDee Lamb in that same draft. It went very differently for a long time.
No, 1,000%. But yes, in his return to Denver, Jerry Jeudy was nothing short of phenomenal. 9 for 235 and a touchdown. It's the most receiving yards by a player in a game against his former team in NFL history. Not fantasy relevant, but a little fun factoid for you. He's the third wide receiver this year with a 40-point game. Since Jameis Winston, this is the important part, since Jameis Winston became the starter, he's the second best wide receiver in fantasy. Obviously inflated quite a bit by this game, the 40-point game. But Jerry Jeudy's been unbelievable. He's averaging, I think this is probably the most telling stat, since Jameis Winston became the starter, Jerry Jeudy's averaging over 122 receiving yards a game. Again, somewhat inflated by the 235, but still, he's been great. He's been great, and it all came together for Jerry Jeudy last night.
It's from our buddy Roto Pat. 15.6%. Well, the first one, the final tally, 15.6% of fifth-year pro Jerry Jeudy's career production has come in the 5 games since Jameis Winston took over as the Browns starter 36 days ago.
Yeah, he's been great, and I just, by the way, there was 70% of Yahoo leagues where he wasn't started. Can you imagine, he's sitting on your bench, you needed a Monday Night Miracle, and it doesn't come through, and Judy's just sitting there racking up points on your bench?
You worried about Surtain, following him around?
Well, I don't understand why they didn't fully cover him, because Surtain was great when he was on Jeudy. Jeudy only had.
Here's the exact numbers. Obviously both former pro and college teammates. They've lined up against each other on 34 of 57 routes. Surtain allowed 2 receptions for 20 yards on 3 targets versus Jeudy, while the rest of the Broncos secondary allowed 7 receptions for 215 yards on 10 targets.
The vast majority of that being Levi Wallace getting absolutely cooked over and over again to the point where he got benched down the stretch. But, the thing with Jeudy, Connor, is that he's still only 25 years old.
Right.
He's taken 15th in the draft. To your point, Matthew, he didn't have great quarterback situations in Denver. There's a chance that the guy's 5th in the NFL in receiving yards.
But this is a guy that was thought of coming out of Alabama to be an elite wide receiver prospect.
I remember when he got to Alabama, the first spring game he played in, everybody looked around and was like, this is the next great wide receiver of all time.
Yeah.
And he had a great career at Alabama, like you said.
Did.
He did really live up to the expectations for him as a recruit, which were insane. It just was a slow start throughout his NFL career. So I'm at 25 years old, I'm buying in. I understand some of the Jameis inflation because Jameis was just throwing it. Cedric Tillman was out in this game, so the targets are going to be higher. But Jeudy can legitimately be a wide receiver.
And just game script, obviously. They were going back and forth as well. And it does feel weird. I get it. The Broncos won the game, and they won it on 2 pick sixes. We'll talk about the defense here in a second. But still, there's a part of me that wants to say, Vance Joseph, that's malpractice. Yeah. That you didn't stick Surtain on Jeudy the entire game.
He's your best player, and he did his job.
Yeah.
So that's a tough one. Here's one for you. Would you rather have Jeudy or Sutton the rest of the season?
Jeudy. I think just the ceiling is so high. If you, again, fantasy is about hitting home runs. It's about winning, going all the way. And so Jerry Jeudy, just the ceiling that he has, he could be a top 3 wide receiver the rest of the way on this insane volume from Jameis. And if Jameis is not delivered, from pick sixes, then you get the ball straight
Doesn't
back.
matter.
It's fantastic.
It
He's
doesn't
the ultimate
matter.
fantasy weapon.
He really is. I think I might choose Sutton in that
Okay.
that scenario just because I think more touchdown potential with him and more of a floor, right? This is now his
small
sixth straight
floor.
game with 14 or more fantasy points. He's a top 4 wide receiver over the last 6 games as well. I prefer Bo Nix to Jameis Winston, just pure quarterback-wise. But Jameson does fling it.
That's the best part.
I mean, it is.
Yeah.
It's sort of it's both guys are locked in fantasy. Both Jerry Jeudy and Courtland Sutton. Both guys are locked in fantasy starters for the fantasy playoffs, right? Like, just I don't care who they're playing. Like, you just got to do it. I don't think you'll see Jerry. This is probably Jerry Jeudy's best game of his career.
Yeah.
But still, great day at the office for him as well.
Sutton rewarded you guys. Good call. Jay, you went on his longest reception, over 23.5 yards. He had a 32-yard catch. Matthew went receiving yards. He blew past that. He had 102. I'll always have the Devon Vile first quarter catch.
Yes.
And then we never saw him again.
Never saw
It was
him
one of
again.
those where you put your feet up. You're like, this is going to be done in the second quarter.
Weird playing time game. Nick Chubb, like the usage on Nick Chubb was weird. Like he got a little bit of run in the first, like had a couple good runs, got stuffed a lot, but then ends up getting a touchdown as well. I don't know that there's much takeaway here other than Jerome Ford is, I think, viable here. I get it. Chubb gets the touchdown and Ford doesn't, but like he has now quietly led the Browns backfield in snaps 3 of the past 4 games. You know, double-digit touches in this one, 60 total yards. Like, feels like they felt better about Ford. And again, in games where just be chucking a lot, and I feel like that's going to be the way the Browns are moving forward. Jerome Ford is more of their pass-catching running back than Nick Chubb, even though Nick Chubb, of course, caught the touchdown.
How about our drink-free candidate today? This is a deep cut.
So this is a deep cut. So Jaquan McMillan drinks free, and I'll tell you why. So that's the guy. He's the corner for the Broncos that got the second pick 6. I put out on Monday. I do this every Monday, and I've done it for a decade. I was the first guy to do it. Whatever. The Monday Night Miracle, right? And so I put out in my Monday Night Miracle what I needed was I was in a league where I needed to win, and I was playing. I was basically tied, and the guy I was playing had Nick Chubb and the Browns defense, and I had the Broncos defense. And I was just like, somehow I need the Broncos defense to outscore the Browns defense and Nick Chubb. And then Bo Nix throws that first pick. I'm like, oh man. And then we get the pick 6. The Broncos get that first pick 6. I'm up by 4, and things are great. But then Nix throws another pick as well. And then Nick Chubb catches that touchdown. I'm like, oh my God, I'm down. And the way the scoring in this league works is if the other team scores 35 points, it's -4. So I'm down 4 points, and they're driving, and I'm like, oh, just score. And if the Broncos get over 35, I'm going to win the game because the other guy's defense will go -4. And of course they kicked the field goal, and I'm like, I'm done. Damn it! I can't believe Sean Payton didn't go for it on 4th and 1. Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotoWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest RotoWorld fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.